Welcome to another TBN review. I'm Sam Ince, and in this video I'm going to help you answer the question, should you play Crystar? The narrative in Crystar focuses on main character Rei Hatada as she fights her way through Purgatory to save her sister Mirai. In order to accomplish this, Rei signs a contract with two beings known simply as Mephis and Feliz, who claim to be the managers of Purgatory. This contract binds Rei as their executor, which is the only way to be able to gather the components required to save Mirai. As she travels through Purgatory, Rei encounters a number of different revenants, which are spirit beings that have memories of her past life. Rei is tasked with killing these revenants as part of the process for reviving her sister. The story is quite intriguing and features some very heavy themes. Some of the subject matter is pretty dark, but is handled very well. As Rei progresses through Purgatory, she finds out the tragic backstories of how some of these revenants came to be, and it can be quite an emotional rollercoaster. The game also doesn't give much away, especially early on. This led to me questioning a lot of what was happening. I became very intrigued and invested in the narrative, because every time you get some new information, it just creates more questions rather than giving answers. Before we continue, if you've enjoyed this review so far, be sure to hit that subscribe button and click on the notification bell, because we've got more videos like this every single week. Now let's get back to the review. The gameplay in Crystar is simple and unfortunately a little monotonous. Traversing through Purgatory is a little stiff at times. Whether in combat or just walking around in this world, Rei and her companions feel quite heavy, which can lead to some really tedious enemy encounters. As a result of this, it's not uncommon for attacks to miss opponents entirely or to get caught in an enemy's attack loop. Thankfully, this doesn't ruin the experience. I found myself adjusting to the controls over time, and these issues became less and less noticeable. When they do occur later on, however, they were quite annoying. One really interesting feature in Crystar are the sentiments. These are weapons and armor that you attain from killing revenants. What is really interesting is that each time a revenant is killed, it releases a torment that affects Rei and her party. These torments can lower their attacks and defenses, and can only be utilized after they have been purified. Rei must reflect on these torments, and only through her tears can she purify them.
The feelings I've received, I'll use them to thrive.
These items can then be combined together as long as they are of the same type to create a better version of what was originally used. This is a great way to pump up those stats to do incredible damage to your foes. One little pet peeve that I have with the game design, and believe me, I know full well that this is petty, is the fact that characters have some voice lines that are delivered with their attacks as well as the usual attack sounds. The problem I had with this was that they were often connected to the heavy attacks, and some lines would be broken into two parts. This meant that in order to hear the full line, you would have to do two heavy attacks in a row. This was quite annoying for two reasons. Firstly, heavy attacks are a lot slower than the light attacks, meaning it was easy for your character to get interrupted when trying to chain heavy attacks together. Secondly, this meant that a lot of the time I was only hearing half the line. This was most noticeable with Rei when she says, "Hate me if you must."
Hate me if you must!
However, because heavy attacks are so easy to interrupt, Rei would often only say, "Hate me."
Come on! Hate me! Hate me!
This was made worse by the fact that it seems that the full phrase was recorded together and then split to fit over two heavy attacks. And again, I know this is petty, and it definitely didn't detract me from continuing through the game. So, should you play Crystar? I would have to say yes. The gameplay department may be somewhat lacking, but the narrative is absolutely fantastic. It takes so many twists and turns along the way, and never fails to surprise me. If you love story-driven games, then this is definitely one for you. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree with our review? What is your opinion on Crystar? If you haven't already, head over to our website thebetanetwork.net for more gaming news and reviews.